between a bus driver and a motorist on a narrow residential road in Bath last week. There was only room for one vehicle to pass. I'm sure you've been in this situation. Neither would let the other go. No one would budge. Tempers got heated, as we can now hear.
Well, mate, the one was my right away, bro.
Whoever you are, then, shall
What, so
we?
you're telling me it's not my right away, mate? What, so you're representing first? I got your video, mate.
Representing first.
And it's my right away, bro.
Okay, and you can't see a bus coming.
When there's an arrow saying I can come through?
Well, you can't drive, can you, mate? So what the f*** is that got to do?
Oh, mate.
What, you're a big man?
Oh, mate,
you got
I
a
was going to the
camera.
bus company. You'll lose your job, bro.
Yourself, mate. You'll lose your life in a second. Now you better move.
Alright, mate, you're representing first of the car. You got passengers on the bus and everything.
So there we are. One of them was the driver, one of them was the motorist, bus driver, motorist, and it all got a bit unpleasant. Traffic backed up for more than half a mile in each direction as the vehicles sat nose to nose. The incident lasted over half an hour. The road only started moving again when the police turned up to sort the pair out, and the bus driver did indeed lose his job over the row because of his foul language. He joins me now in the studio. Omar Razvi, hello.
Good afternoon, Jeremy.
And both men are still angry, so what we've done is bring them together on the radio so they can each tell their version of events. We have also got a mediator on the phone who might be needed. So Omar, the bus driver, is with me. The motorist is in the Bath studio. Ewan Langley, hi.
Hello, you right, guys?
Hey, all right?
You right, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Lovely.
So tell us about this road, Ewan. What were you doing going down it?
Well, I was on my way up it, actually, off to Milan's.
Oh, you going up it, sorry. So you met the bus?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, on the first giveaway point, what giveaways to oncoming traffic.
So as far as you were concerned, he had to back up, is that right?
As far as I was concerned, it was oncoming traffic right away.
Okay. Oncoming, so you mean his right away?
Nah, like, you give way to oncoming traffic, so he was to give way to oncoming traffic coming towards
because
him.
you were oncoming towards him.
Yeah.
Right. Omar Razvi, he was oncoming towards you. He had the right of way. Is that right?
Jeremy, let me just present this situation as it actually is. You are driving an 8.5-foot wide vehicle in a road that barely has 6 inches either side, with parked cars on both sides. It is extremely difficult to drive down that road, any vehicle you're in. Anybody with an iota of common decency and sense would have seen and acted in a manner to give way. There was no option I had. I could not turn left or right.
You couldn't back up?
No, I couldn't even do that, no.
Okay, so at this point, obviously, you've got a difference of view. This is a classic situation on the roads. Ewan, whatever the rules were, Omar's right. It's really hard for him to manoeuvre that bus. What about you just backing up?
Well, as you can see in the video, the second video online, you can see actually another passenger, a member of the public, saying, why should he go back 40 yards when you can go back 5 yards? And in my video, you can see I'm next to the blue cone, which splits back into 2 roads. So technically, he did come down on me. Like,
so you're a bit more manoeuvrable, Ewan. That's all I was thinking.
Yeah, but then I was actually through the whole like diversion thing. Like, Omar still didn't answer your question by whose right away was it.
Omar, why did you say that he would lose his effing life?
Jeremy, let me present it to you this way. If you're driving a vehicle that weighs half a tonne as opposed to a vehicle that weighs about 8.5 tonnes, and you are careering towards the 8.5 tonne vehicle at 30 mile an hour, Mr. Langley accelerated to the point he left me no option otherwise, other than stopping.
So you got out the bus?
Mr. Langley also said to me prior to starting filming me, I should be very careful with what I've got to say because obviously there is a police investigation going on. There are the legal repercussions.
Well, and it's a family show.
Certainly, yeah. I'll keep the Joe Pesci in me down a little bit now. What he did was he put me in an extremely difficult position. He used extremely abusive language with connotations further than just normal abuse, which, again, I'm not willing to comment on at the moment. Because
what connotations?
Right, commenting about me not having hair, possibly commenting about my background as well.
What, as a bus driver?
No, as an individual, as a person, as who he saw through the windscreen.
Oh, you mean a racial comment?
Well, you said it, Jeremy. I'm not going to actually entertain any of that until I've spoken.
Is that right? Ewan, you said he was bald and you made a racial reference?
As you can see in the video, I said there's passengers on the bus, and there so happened to be a coloured person on the bus. So I'm pretty certain if I was to say a racial comment, she would have got involved as well. But then, as this society is, we're a multicultural nation, aren't we?
Okay.
So
Well, let's park that.
why would I pick fault when he picked fault with me straight away? Like,
Well, you were quite rude to him, Ewan, weren't you?
nah,
John?
like on my first approach, I went to the passenger side, and as you can see, that's him leaving the cab. So why would I go to his side to go to the other side? Because when I go to the other side, he'd already be out the cab. So as you can see in my video, that's my first approach to the driver.
Yeah. Let's try and sort this out now. Ewan, do you want to apologise to Omar, or Omar, would you like to apologise to Ewan? Maybe that could break the ice a bit.
To be honest, I got nothing to say really. I stand my ground, and I still stand my ground.
Can't you say something like, you know, these things happen, and I was an idiot?
Not at all, to be honest, mate. Because there's witnesses on my behalf. One's a counsellor who got it posted into the Bath Chronicle straight away, saying that he was being racially abusive, saying like, "I'll jihadi kick you," and doing the jihadi salute.
Sorry? Right. What's that's come out of nowhere.
Yeah,
that.
that's what I mean. But then it still carries on Facebook, like Shem Ham for Ash, what means hell Satan.
Let's not get too much into the Facebook stuff, because we might end up saying something we regret. Omar, can you apologise to Ewan for getting? You shouldn't be getting out of your bus, Omar, and shouting at people.
No, I apologise to Ewan for the one reason that Ewan seems to be somebody that really doesn't know where he's coming from in life and who.
Sorry, but you are a bus driver. You are employed on our behalf. You shouldn't be effing and blinding at people.
No, I shouldn't, and I take full responsibility for that, and I apologise if I caused any offence to any people regarding my comments. However, my point of view is that Mr. Langley is completely omitting a big portion of this story. He told me that he would instigate this incident, he would have me up on all social media and news networks, and watch, because you're going to lose your effing job this afternoon. You watch, mate, you bald, blah, 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 so on. So,
let's bring in the psychologist, Dr. Alan Watkins, listening on the phone now. You're a mediator. You could, if these two men were in a room, what would you say to them, Alan?
Well, they're both feeling threatened under pressure, and what happens is your biology goes into chaos, and the front part of your brain shuts down. You effectively have a do-it-yourself lobotomy under these circumstances, and both people dig in. So that's exactly what happened on the day, and to some extent what's happening now. And it's very difficult to talk somebody out of that. Once their front part of their brain shuts down, the thinking disappears.
Would you as a psychologist say something like, look, guys, we're only on this earth for 86 years, and there's no time for this nonsense?
Well, people feel threatened. It's the equivalent part of your brain where if you were seeing a bear coming at you in a rush. So when people feel threatened, they lose awareness. Their brain shuts down, and they just dig in, hold their position, stand their ground, exactly as has been described. And until people learn to get a bit better control of their own biology and their own emotional state, you get these standoffs. People's brain shuts down under pressure.
But why are their brains still shut down?
Well, because they still feel threatened.
Is that right, Omar? You're still in the zone? You're still standing there shouting at him?
Oh, Jeremy, of course I'm not. I'm a man who's lost my livelihood and possibly my chance of working in that field forever, and this individual here, as far as I'm concerned, has really gone out of his way to have it in for me. This is wrong.
To be honest, mate, you brought it all on yourself. Like, you're not even employed by First, and that's the first thing First said. You're an agency worker.
First is the bus firm, yeah.
Yeah, so all you've done is let down the agency who was giving you work and managed to get you work for First.
But we're still kind of carrying on the argument.
That's what I mean.
We brought you in for a bit of sweetness and light here.
Yeah, to be honest, like, I've got no regret in what's happened. Like, because the way the social networking is nowadays, it's just proved who he is. And on the comments on the video, it says this bus driver has been rude to other people in the past, but obviously no one's caught it like this before on camera.
So, Alan Watkins, what would you do if you were trying to sort these two out and make sure they became friends?
Well, it would take a bit of time to make sure these two became friends, but they've got to work on how they respond to situations of threat. And this is no different than yourself dancing on Saturday night, Jeremy. When you feel threatened, your brain might shut down and forget your steps. It's the same basic mechanism in your brain. And so until human beings learn to get a better control of that, they just keep going around this loop. So that takes a bit of time and a bit of training to help people do that.
And kind of context, I suppose we need to understand that this argument, although it seems very important to the two gentlemen, isn't very important in the wider context.
No, of course it isn't. But of course, when you lose perceptual awareness, you can't see that. So the bus driver, you know, his job's threatened. So of course he's still going to feel fairly angry and upset that, and rightly so. So both parties still feel aggrieved, and while they're stuck in that position, there will be very little progress. So you have to help people get out of that. It's the same reason why children go blank in the exam, and the same reason why people get stage fright, or why people forget their dance steps.
No, don't. You're going to say that again. Stop your work. You're going to make me forget them on Saturday. Don't say that again. I know what you're doing there. Thank you, Alan Watkins, very much indeed, psychologist. How interesting he is. Let's have him in again. Ewan Langley, car driver. What job were you going to, Ewan, by the way, on your journey?
I was just off to my nan's house, mate, just to go see if she was okay, like.
And what do you do most days?
I do the same as what Omar was doing, agency work.
Oh, okay.
So obviously,
what, bus driving?
Nah, completely different. Van driving.
Van driving, right.
Because obviously, like, it all, like, ferries, really. You could go up to Great Taunton, what's a 3.5 hour drive on the motorway sort of thing.
Sure. I guess maybe that's the thing is you're both professional drivers, and maybe that's the clue here.
Yeah, that's...
You can't, you know, you are on the roads earning a living, and you spend a lot of time. Omar, you spend a lot of time on the roads, and that, I think, does change the brain a bit, doesn't it?
It certainly does. You have to deal with adverse situations on a daily basis, every day, all day. My story is not an isolated one. There are tens of thousands of people doing my job in similar incidences that it doesn't highlight. I am here not to represent myself, Jeremy. I am here to represent every single person that's been put in a predicament like myself.
Right.
Somebody who has had trial by social media, no backing from the company he's working from at all, who have not entertained in the slightest my side of the argument. This is my gripe.
Okay, thank you both very much indeed. I think we're getting closer to a real lifelong friendship there. Omar Razvi, bus driver, and Ewan Langley, car driver, although, as he says, drives vans for a living. Two professional drivers, essentially, who they don't collide on the road, but they meet, they stop, they argue, they shout, they go online with it, and it's really hard, as you can hear, to sort it out.